Stephen Mark's sublime turn in Funny Girl. With his striking good looks and sublime singing voice, out-actor Stephen Mark Lukas is the ideal musical theater leading man, a title he both nails and thoroughly enjoys. He's played Elder Price in The Book of Mormon, both on Broadway and on tour, and regionally, he's wowed audiences performing classic parts like Sky Masterson in Guys and Dolls, Joe Hardy in Damn Yankees, Lancelot in Camelot, and Curly in Oklahoma. He's now playing Nick Arnstein, the love interest of Katerina McCrimmon's Fanny Brice in the national tour of the Broadway revival of Funny Girl. Composed by Jules Stein and Bob Merrill, it's the musical story of comedian Brice's rise from anonymity to stardom via vaudeville, Ziegfeld Follies, radio, and some film. While cementing the Brice legend, the show also became inextricably linked to Barbra Streisand through the 1964 Broadway hit and later movie musical that made her a star. When we meet Arnstein, a suave mustachioed gambler, he seems on top of the world, but that soon proves otherwise. Lukas says he serves as a bit of an antagonist, but his shortcomings are what paved the way for Fanny's triumphant ending. Certainly, the show still features fabulous tuneful hits like Don't Rain on My Parade, I'm the Greatest Star, and People. But now there's an updated book from Harvey Fierstein, based on the original classic by Isabel Leonard, which strives to make Arnstein a little more likable, he says. Lukas, who understudied Ramin Karimbloo as Nick while on Broadway before taking the part on tours, says, "My character exists in relation to Fanny. The musical is her memories. So, the way I do the role has a lot to do with the actor who's playing Fanny. So far there have been 6, including the well-received Lea Michele. The quality of Fanny's ambition is stronger in the first act, while the second act spotlights the demise of her romantic life with Nick, something audiences don't always anticipate," says Lukas. He says McCrimmon captures the blind ambition of the younger Fanny, adding, "Her voice is out of this world. People aren't prepared for what she brings to the part vocally. She's young yet possesses an old Hollywood quality, and she gets the humor of the role. My favorite song is a duet added to the second act. It's really beautiful." Lukas says he's never had a problem playing straight romantic characters, explaining that his acting takes care of that. He has noticed that over the years the business has changed from more of a don't ask, don't tell policy to something freer. "When I started in the profession, it was a different time. The public perception of queerness for actors has changed. For instance, Lukas is very open about his longtime relationship with former Broadway dancer Brian Lettender. The pair are slated to tie the knot after the Funny Girl tour ends. Most of his roles have dealt with masculinity in some way, says Lukas. A lot of characters I play start with confidence and unravel as the show goes on. What does it mean to be a man? What is masculinity? What does it mean to be a husband and a father?" Growing up in Kennebunkport, Maine, he enjoyed annual visits to New York to see Broadway shows. He boarded at the prestigious Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire and studied theater at NYU. He's remained based in New York City hereafter. His life on the road is enjoyable yet disciplined. Lukas says, "The spaces where we perform are interesting for this show in particular. Funny Girl is in many ways a show about theater, and we play some of the old vaudeville theaters and movie palaces where Fanny Brice in fact performed." While moving from town to town, Lukas takes care of his voice. He makes sure to eat and sleep well, and works out regularly as evidenced by his impressive build. He also prioritizes visits with his partner whenever possible. "These older book musicals are character-driven and have great scores," says Lukas. "It's what makes them relevant today. On the surface they might feel dated, but there's also the contemporary humor and romance. What's more, the work is never stagnant," he adds. "Increasingly, I approach the work as an actor first, and that's what informs the singing. It's that intersection that goes from scene into song, and that makes a difference."